I've come to see the snow geese. Every fall, the snow geese arrive to spend the winter here on the shores of the Salish Sea. Snow geese are such an intriguing story. In a world where so many bird species are in decline, snow geese are thriving. Their success begs the question, why? It's mid-October on the Fraser River Delta. I'm biking the sea dike that separates farmlands from salt marshes and tidal flats of Roberts Bank. Roberts Bank sits where the southern outlets of the giant Fraser River, or Stallo as it's known to the Coast Salish peoples, meets the Salish Sea. The snow geese are just arriving now after a long journey from their Arctic nesting grounds. They'll stay all winter, here and on the Skagit River Delta 70 kilometers to the south, feeding in the farm fields and in the rich estuary marshes nearby. So here I am looking for snow geese, and suddenly, far ahead of me, is the unmistakable honking of snow geese. It's coming from near the Roberts Bank shipping port. I get closer and stop. Hundreds of snow geese fill the bay. Closer in, ducks feed in the shallows. This is the remarkable bird life of the winter delta. I settle in and watch. Sandpipers are hunting the flats, as are a tribe of coots. And a heron's just caught a flatfish. And in the trees just back of the dike are eagles, here to hunt the abundant ducks and geese. Eagles from all over the coast have followed the salmon runs through the fall and early winter, and now, with those runs over, are here on the delta to feed on the rich overwintering birds and other marine life. Part of the flock has moved close to the dike, so I head that way. And some are really close, and I zoom in with my telephoto. I'm struck by their whiteness, how tightly they stay together, and of course, their non-stop honking. A number of the geese have a mottle of gray feathers. They're juveniles, born this past summer on the Arctic tundra. Though I can't tell who's who, I know that those young snow geese are side by side with their parents. Snow geese mate for life, and first-year juvenile snow geese travel with their parents on migration. Some of the geese are grazing on herbs and grasses, while others are digging into the mud. In winter, marshland plants store energy in their roots, and so snow geese have evolved strong serrated bills to dig, cut, and tear. And among all the feeding geese, I notice there are always some sentinels, alert to dangers. Eagles are everywhere. Seeing these huge flocks, I'm reminded that since the 1970s, snow geese populations have increased dramatically. One of the reasons why snow geese are thriving is that climate change has brought warmer weather to their Arctic nesting grounds, and snow geese have been able to successfully raise more young. Their summer nesting grounds are on Wrangel Island, off the coast of Russia in the high Arctic. These snow geese have just arrived from an epic 5 to 8 week migration spanning 4,000 kilometers. Back in late August, adults and juveniles left their nesting grounds. They crossed the Bering Sea and worked their way down the Alaska and then BC coast, pausing for a week at a time at major river mouth estuaries to feed. And now in mid-October, they're arriving in the Fraser and Skagit River deltas, where they'll spend the winter feeding in farm fields and coastal marshes. And here lies the second reason for the boom in snow goose populations: abundant winter food. Since the 1970s, snow geese have increasingly discovered a rich, nourishing winter food supply in farm fields. Though traditionally wetland foragers, snow geese now feed heavily on waste crops left in agricultural fields such as potatoes and corn, as well as on fall-planted crops such as grasses and winter wheat. Together, the Fraser and Skagit River deltas offer what snow geese need: offshore waters for overnight resting, and extensive marshes and farm fields for feeding. And what the Fraser and Skagit offer is critical to snow geese. Given their great numbers and habit of congregating in huge flocks, there are few other winter habitats along the west coast that are big enough and rich enough to support them. And so snow geese join the tens of thousands of other migratory and resident birds that depend on the Fraser and Skagit River deltas. Given all this, snow geese are thriving. Well fed in the winter, they're ready for the trip north in the spring. And on the nesting grounds, milder weather is allowing more young to survive. But the recent growth of snow geese populations has become a major challenge for many farmers on both the Skagit and Fraser deltas. A snow geese flock that lands on a field of tender grass shoots can decimate the pasture's spring growth, and cash crops planted to overwinter can be lost. So wildlife managers have been working with farmers to compensate them for their losses, paying them to grow forage crops and leasing land for habitat. And hunting seasons are used to manage the size of the snow geese flocks on both the Skagit and Fraser deltas. So, success among our animal neighbors can be tricky for us. We just don't have much experience with wild animal populations that are on the rise, rather than in decline. And so all these thoughts roam around in my head as I watch the snow geese. As I stare out to sea at Roberts Bank, I can see that the snow geese and the ducks around them are restless. Every once in a while they lift off, fly a short distance, and settle back down. No surprise, eagles are all around them, perched on various stumps and logs on the tidal flats. I'm watching two eagles when a third one joins them. This causes the eagle in the middle to lift off, revealing a duck in its talons. This airborne eagle, with another in pursuit, scare the nearby ducks and they erupt. A bit later, alarmed, the snow geese take off too. It's the edgy and wary world of hunter and hunted. Then, behind me, the geese explode. Another eagle just spooked them. For a while, I let the energy of all that echo around inside of me. Just magical. That nature can muster such abundance, I find reassuring. It comforts me that snow geese, through the luck of climate change and their own adaptability, have found a way to thrive. And their thriving makes them such a vital part of our Salish Sea winters. A big, bright, and boisterous presence, unique among our wild neighbors. For the awe and wonder that they bring to our lives, I'm thankful.